Turn to business news now with Emil Donovan, who is beaming in from Wellington. Hi, Emil. It's the end of an era for Sky TV as John Follett leaves the company.
That's right, yeah. John Follett has been with the company since 1991, which is pretty remarkable, really. To put that into context, Otago were the NPC champions back then, and Brian Adams was top of the charts, just to hammer that point home. Since then, of course, Sky's grown into something of a monolith, really, to the point where it's really kind of a part of the Kiwi vocabulary. And John Follett's been there the whole ride, to be honest. Now, Sky gets a bit of stick these days, largely because of its monopoly, I guess you'd call it, on premium live sport. But it's worth remembering that they really took some risks at the beginning and made some heavy losses. They invested millions of dollars into satellite dishes and the like. And there was no guarantee that it would be successful, so probably fair to say John Follett's feeling pretty good about his legacy at the moment. Of course, now the company's facing a bit of an existential crisis with the rise of online companies like Netflix and Lightbox. And while it's tried to address those through changing the pricing of its packages and what sorts of channels it's offering, and of course with its doomed merger with Vodafone that the Commerce Commission rejected last year, it's clearly entering a new phase, and John Follett has decided that some new blood needs to lead that. But he'll be sticking around, he'll have a say in who that successor is, and it'll be really interesting actually to see who takes the reins and what direction they take the company.
Emil, thank you. Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? It was once a radical, revolutionary reinvention of the TV model. Now, only a quarter of a second later, the world has, reinvented how we get TV. Economic confidence up in most places in the country, I see.
That's right, yeah. This comes from a household survey from Westpac and McDermott Miller. They do one of these every quarter. 9 out of the 11 regions are feeling better about their economic outlook than they were in December. That's kind of to be expected, really, as the dust following the election starts to settle. Wellington's out leading the bunch. Westpac reckons the change in government's going to be music to the ears of some civil servants. Also feeling good are areas expected to benefit from the Regional Economic Development Growth Fund, Shane Jones's multi-billion-dollar fund. We're talking Gisborne and Hawke's Bay and the Bay of Plenty there. Auckland is the most pessimistic region. Remember, this is a household survey and there's a little bit of uncertainty about what the new government's policies are going to mean for house prices. But interestingly, they also saw the biggest increase in confidence from December. So that at least is on a sort of upwards trajectory. In terms of negatives, the biggest negative changes were in Otago and along the west coast of the South Island. Now, you'll remember that they saw some pretty extraordinary weather over the summer, 2 cyclones battering that west coast at just about the same time that a drought was hitting Otago, so they are understandably really feeling still a wee bit vulnerable. Yeah,
you can understand that. What happened on the markets today, Emil? I've heard nothing.
Well, the NZX Top 50 end of the day, it was down 83 points. That's just under 1%. It closed at 8,432. And the Kiwi dollar was up marginally against the major currencies. It ended at 72.7 US cents, 94 Australian, and 51.3 pence.
Emil Donovan, thank you very much indeed. Emil joining us from the terrace.